I'm on my way to an appointment this morning, and the notes say that the fellow's looking for a furnace. So I'm just going to give him a call right now and find out what it is specifically that he's looking for, so I can be up to date on how I can help him best. Try to always call people ahead of time just to say hello, introduce myself. Sometimes the only contact they've had is through our office. So I'll give him a call right now and see what.
Hello?
Good morning, it's Doug calling.
Hi, this is he. Thanks for calling, Doug. How are you?
Good. I'm on my way to your place now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
All right, well, that sounds good. Anyway, at least we'll pay attention to what you're interested in when I get there, and we'll have a nice talk, and then I'll be able to put together a quote for you, and I usually send that out by email same day. So.
Okay, perfect.
All right, well, I will see you in a little bit then.
Okay, thanks so much, Doug. See you
Thanks,
soon.
Jedar. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, so there you have it. I had a nice conversation with the fellow that I'm going to see. And I'm just looking at a camper going by. Oh my God, Revel. Oh, I just love that. That's exactly what I want. I don't usually want much, but I want one of those. Anyway, I better get back to what I was talking about. So I had a nice conversation with the fellow I'm going to see. He's asked me to come out to look at the furnace. And while I was talking to him, he said he's just wanting to get an idea what it's going to cost to replace it, because the furnace is getting older. And it sounds like he's had a repair or a couple of repairs on it in the past, but right now it's working. I asked him about his humidifier. He said he's had that checked out. The humidifier is working and is in good order, so that's something we don't need to deal with. I asked him about his thermostat. He said he has an old Honeywell style thermostat and he might look at replacing that. He doesn't really care if he can control his thermostat from his phone, but he said it might be an option. The real advantage is what we charge to put in a modern Wi-Fi enabled thermostat is usually about the same cost as you would pay for it if you went to one of the big lumber stores or the big hardware stores. But the advantage is while we're there, we'll install it and we'll make sure it's working properly. And some of those units can be a little bit tricky. So we'll look at that when I get to see him. I also asked him about his air conditioning, and this is the part that I found very interesting. His air conditioner, he said he had it checked last year because it wasn't working that great. And the term he used was he had the fluid topped up in it. So the refrigerant was low, which indicates that the system is getting old and worn. And if it's gone out once, it will go out again because it's a sealed system and it only ever leaks when things start to wear out, either at one end of the unit or the other. So we'll have a look at that and we'll see. But if he's already had a problem before, he's definitely going to have a problem with it again. Just adding fluid, as he called it, or refrigerant is not going to solve the problem. That's just a band-aid. So I will let you know how I made out after I visit with this fella and his wife and see where we go from there. I just finished up with that fella. His name was Jedar. Very nice young guy, him and his wife, fairly young couple. I didn't actually get to meet with her, but I saw her through the window working from her home office. He's originally from Brazil, and they've been in Canada for a few years now. The house they've had for about 2 years. But he said he's getting a little concerned that because of the age of it, he doesn't want it to let him down. He also understands that it is responsible for moving the air through the house for the air conditioning. So I checked it out, and I'm going to do an estimate and give him some choices for replacing the furnace. Humidifier was one of my favorite models that was installed, and it was in good working order, as he said it was, so we're going to leave that be. One thing I noticed on the humidifier water line going to it, a lot of companies will cut corners there and they'll put a saddle valve in, which is a valve that clamps over top of the line and punches a hole right through the copper. And they always leak. And it was obvious, you could see how the calcium buildup had been around it and how it had been leaking down the pipe. So he asked me if we could change that at the same time, and of course we will. We talked about his air filter as well. Right now he's only got the 1-inch receiver with the filter that's designed to protect the furnace but not clean the air in the house. So he asked me if I would include that as putting a large filter cabinet in to clean the air in the house as well. He just had the ductwork cleaned, so that part's taken care of. And if the ductwork is cleaned properly, you don't need to have it done very often. I tell people, judge for yourself, but in my opinion, once every 10 years, if it was done properly, and unless you're doing construction in your house or have a reason to want to do it more often, that should be enough. Upgrade the air filter system going through the furnace. That'll get rid of any particulates that are floating in the air. So I'm going to put that in as an optional extra for him. Also the thermostat. It really was an old Honeywell thermostat. Very capable at its time, but there's so many new features, including how you can make your furnace a little more efficient with the run times of the new thermostats. So we're going to include that as an optional extra as well, which if he chooses, we will install it and we'll make sure that it works properly. I went outside and I had a look at his air conditioner. I was able to find on the tag the year of manufacturer, and in his, it was June of 2012. So it's quite a few years old now. And it looked like it was in good condition, and he said it worked great. But then I remembered that he had told me that he had had the air conditioning refrigerant topped up. So I asked him about that. And he said, yeah, he said it wasn't working good. They came and they added refrigerant to it. And then in last summer it worked good. So I said, okay, with that in mind, maybe we should quote a new air conditioner, only because if it's already losing refrigerant, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to go down again. Now, I can't say how fast it was losing refrigerant, so it may be okay for another summer, but the chances are that when it's working really hard, putting a lot of strain on the system on the hottest days of summer, if it's going to fail, or if it's going to lose refrigerant, that's when it's going to happen. So I told him that that's something that he might want to pay attention to, and he asked me, please quote the air conditioner also. He'll decide for himself, and I told him I don't want to pick for him, but I want him to at least be aware that this summer it might let him down. So that was it for my visit. I will do up a quote for him, get it out sometime later today, and then we'll let him decide what he wants to do after he discusses it with his wife. Stay comfortable, but please, stay tuned.